For more than 20 years, one doctor has been collecting the memories of people who died and came back. What they told him changes how you should think about your final moment. But to understand why it matters, we have to start at the very beginning, the exact second it all begins. This is what really happens after you die, not what anyone believes, what science has actually measured, second by second. And it starts with the thing keeping you alive right now, your heartbeat, around 100,000 times today, without you ever asking it to. One day, it beats for the very last time. So let's start there. The moment it stops, your heart stops pushing blood, and blood carries oxygen. Your brain is greedy for oxygen. It's only about 2% of your body weight, but it uses around 20% of your oxygen. So the instant the blood stops, a hidden clock starts ticking. You'd think the brain just shuts off, goes dark, silent. It doesn't. In 2023, scientists in America were monitoring the brains of dying patients, and in the moment the oxygen began to vanish, 2 of those brains did the opposite of going quiet. They lit up, a sudden powerful burst of activity, the exact same kind your brain makes when you're remembering something important or dreaming. Sit with that for a second. At the very edge of death, the brain switched on, like it was remembering. And this might explain something humans have whispered about for thousands of years. People who almost died often say the same thing, that their whole life flashed before their eyes. For centuries, we thought that was just a story. Now, scientists think it might be real. That final burst could be your brain playing back your most important memories, one last time. This isn't proof of heaven, but it's real. It was measured, and it's one of the biggest mysteries in all of science. And now we come back to that doctor, the one from the very start of this video. His name is Sam Parnia, and for more than 20 years, he and his teams studied one exact moment, cardiac arrest. The moment the heart stops. They sat with hundreds of these patients, people who, by every medical definition, had died and were then brought back. They monitored their brains during it, and afterward, they interviewed the survivors about what they remembered. And around 1 in 5 came back with something to tell. Not chaos, not terror. They described clear, lucid thought, a sense of awareness, without fear. Many spoke of seeing people who had already died, and something stranger still, a kind of replay of their own life. Not just remembering it, but feeling how their actions had touched other people. Every kindness, every wound. And maybe that's the most comforting part of all, because for almost everyone, death is not the painful struggle we imagine. It's peaceful. The body simply lets go. But that window doesn't stay open for long. Within the first minute, a wave moves across the brain. Scientists gave it a chilling name, the wave of death. It's the moment the brain cells lose the power to keep themselves alive. Before this wave, a flicker of activity is still possible. After it passes, without oxygen, there is no return. And here's a question almost no one asks. If the brain dies that fast, are you actually gone the instant your heart stops? Not quite, and this is where it gets unsettling. Death isn't a single moment, it's a process. Your heart can stop, and yet, for a short time, individual cells all over your body are still alive, still working. Your skin cells, some of your other tissues, they don't get the message right away. In a strange sense, small parts of you carry on living for a while after the rest of you is gone. Doctors even have a word for this slow fade. The difference between the heart stopping and the body's cells truly dying can stretch on far longer than you'd think. And now, the body begins to change, on a schedule so exact that police use it to work out the time of death. Within minutes, every muscle goes completely soft. Your skin turns pale as the blood stops moving and slowly sinks to the lowest part of the body, pulled down by gravity. It pools there and leaves dark purplish marks, something investigators read like a clock to tell which way a body was lying and for how long. Your warmth starts leaking away too. About 12 hours to feel cold to the touch, a full day to go cold all the way through. Then, something eerie happens. A few hours later, those soft muscles do the opposite. They lock. They go stiff and rigid. This is rigor mortis. It begins around 3 hours after death, peaks at about 12 hours, and then slowly, over the next 2 to 3 days, the body relaxes one final time. But the strangest part, it's already happening inside you, right now. At this very moment, trillions of tiny bacteria live inside your stomach. Every day, they quietly help you digest your food. They're your partners. But the second you die, that partnership ends. While you're alive, your body keeps them locked in place. Your immune system holds the line. When you die, that defense switches off. Nothing holds them back. And they begin to spread. The body, quietly, slowly, starts to break itself down from the inside out. This is decomposition. Over days, these bacteria release gases that cause the body to swell and give off that powerful odor. The softest parts go first. The brain, the soft tissue. The tougher, more fibrous parts hold on longer. And here's something that sounds like science fiction, but is completely real. The moment a body begins to break down, it releases a faint chemical signal into the soil and air. And nature notices immediately. Certain insects can detect it from far away, arriving within minutes. And scientists who study them can read the stages so precisely they can estimate how long ago death happened, sometimes to the day. Even in death, your body becomes the center of a whole hidden world of activity. Over weeks and months it continues, until only the strongest thing is left: the bones. Bones can last for years, centuries, sometimes thousands of years. It's exactly how we can still hold the skull of a human who lived in the Ice Age. Long after everything soft about a person is gone, their face, their voice, their warmth, the bones remain. In a strange way, they become the last proof you ever existed. But let's be honest, none of that is what you really came here to know. You don't really care what happens to your body. You care what happens to you, your thoughts, your memories, the voice in your head, reading these words right now. And here, science goes quiet, honestly quiet. Everything you call you seems to come from tiny signals firing between the cells in your brain. You have about 86 billion of them, linked by trillions of connections. Every memory you own, every face you love, lives inside that web. When that activity stops for good, everything we can measure says those patterns fade. The connections holding a lifetime of memories slowly come undone. But notice those words, everything we can measure. Science can tell you what happens to the brain. It cannot yet tell you if you're only the brain or something more. Does any part of us continue? That's exactly where proven science ends and where belief begins. For thousands of years, every culture, every religion, every person has tried to fill that space in their own way. Science doesn't take that mystery from you. It just shows you the edge of the map and goes quiet. So let me end with something that's both completely true and strangely comforting. Every piece of you, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in every cell, was made billions of years ago inside giant stars that exploded long before Earth existed. You are, quite literally, made of stardust. For one short, impossible moment, those ancient pieces came together to make you, something that could think and feel and love and wonder about its own ending. And when you die, they're not destroyed. They can't be. They return. They become soil and rain and trees. And one day, part of the people who come after you. Nothing about you is truly lost. It's only borrowed and given back. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, awake for a little while. And that is not nothing. That is everything. So here's my question for you. Does knowing the science make death feel less frightening or more beautiful? Tell me below. And if this made you feel something, stay, because next time we're asking another question we're all afraid to ask.